Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today to discuss why should we care about the indoor air quality and the safety of surrounding environment. My name is Jessica with Mileside Marketing Department. Well, every day millions of people suffer from lack of fresh air. They suffer from smoke clouds around factories and traffic choke air. It's nothing new, but what about the indoor air quality? Studies have shown that the air in our schools, in our offices, can be even 5 times more polluted than outside. Two of the main reasons for our poor well-being is the concentration of carbon dioxide gas and volatile organic compounds, TVOC gas, in rooms. And obviously, the air quality is not only challenge we are facing when we stay inside for working and learning. Have you ever found your laptop didn't work anymore overnight? Have you ever felt uncomfortable due to the heavy humidity? Have you ever sneezed continuously but not in sick? Well, the water damage is often an unseen threat under the floorboards, under the ceilings, and around the pipelines, causing serious damage over the time, such as mold, equipment failure, and facility damage if not prevented in time. And I think some of the areas in school and in office are only open to administrator, like the server room and the test labs. Then, as an administrator, do you want to effectively and centralized to monitor those areas, those rooms in one platform, in one system? Well, the solution is very simple. It's necessary to have a proper system with air circulation and water leak detection and a door and window sensor, which can be achieved either by a good ventilation system or manually by operating manually by opening doors and windows. And fortunately, Mileside's No2 app indoor ambience and security solution have stepped into the market, make the technology more cost-effective for school and office and any indoor applications. Just a real quick through about Mileside before we get going here for those who maybe are new to Ursulink or this may be your first time to our webinar. And Ursulink was founded in the end of 2016, and we have more than 60 employees with a wide portfolio. Well, as you know, we also have other two sister companies, Yearstar and Mileside. Yearstar is a very famous brand in the VIP industry. They are famous for the SIP PPX and SIP, the VIP gateways, as well as the cloud communication systems. And Mileside is a well-known brand for their surveillance solutions like their CCTV cameras and NVR systems. So now we have integrated through the merger and acquisition M&A process, and three of us will have integrated into one Mileside group in December 2020, and we will operate under the one brand name, Mileside, in the overseas market. And you can find the IoT products from our product portfolio, the industrial cellular routers, LoRaWAN sensors, gateways, and remote I/O controllers, and our cloud platform, and Mileside VPN software as well. Okay, that's all about Mileside. So before going into the details of the applications, you are first explore where the threats of the air pollution and water leak comes from, and their causes, their reasons, their costs, their damages, and their measures we can take to minimize the threat of the air pollution, the water damage, and we will also explain exactly how some of the technology works, then look at the key applications we have identified. And after a quick summary, I can then take any question from you all at the end of this webinar. Let's start with look at main risks to school buildings, office buildings in regards to the environment quality and safety. Well, it goes without saying, the indoor air quality, the water leak, and the door and window status monitoring. The air quality we are talking about is all around us. That is the quality of air in your school, in your office, in your gym, or any building environment, really anywhere. The pollutants can be anything from the chemicals and gases to living organisms like mold, some common air concerns, including both pollutant and environmental factors such as carbon dioxide, volatile organic compounds, TVOC. And for the water leak, it's another very common concern around us. Nearly all buildings are fed with mains water supply, and mains water is usually supplied at a very higher pressure. Any weakness in the way that water is delivered into the building is going to result in a possible leak. That's the pipework infrastructure to get this water into the buildings. And water cooling, the air conditioning. More and more education and commercial properties now have air conditioning as standard. And these units traditionally use mains water supply as part of the cooling mechanism. So it means more pipe works. And this is the same for the condensers. In a way, water-cooled condensers and chiller barrels are essentially. Condenser is a heat exchanger that removes heat from the refrigerant vapor and transfers it into the water running through it. And finally, the groundwater and the rainwater. These are potential threats based on location. Certain regions are very vulnerable to higher levels of groundwater and in combination with heavy raining, which can pose a threat of water coming into a building where it shouldn't. And for the safety concern, we can especially monitor the fire escape, monitor the server room break-ins. We are only allowed to use in emergency situation or with authentication code with approvals. There's other contribution factors, which are unfortunately may include, like the bad operating and workmanship. Unfortunately, so for something as simple in concept as keeping environment comfort and safe and moving water around our building, they are actually fair a complex undertaking, and the best practice isn't always ideal. So there are main things that can go wrong with all of that: internal air quality, internal space safety, and pipe work. So let's run through this. I have listed 4 reasons, including the wrong use of materials, the poor standards of installation, and the general wear and tear on existing infrastructure, and out of the date, the monitoring way, and those which are all result in unwanted or unexpected air pollution, water leaks, and break-ins potentially. Now we will be aware of risk assessment. The office infrastructure network designer and engineer might be actively providing this for their customers in regards to the air conditioning, surveillance security system, and the fire and alarm systems, but they could also consider air pollution and water leak detection risks, I think. And if your risk assessment contains a possible cause for uncomfortable working and learning environment through airless classroom or through the airless meeting room, the water damage through a leak, and easily entrance through the door and the window, then why not include them and recommend the installation of ambience monitoring, break-in alarm, and leak detection, the all-in-one system as part of your service portfolio? It seems logic. It makes sense, right? So at this point, I'm sure some of the audience are now asking, what exactly is this air quality, water leak, and the door and window state detection solution? Well, I'm referring to any technology that monitors and warns of a threat of bad air quality. The water leakage, break-in threats I have just identified. So the audience is clear. I'm coming up with this definition that is on screen now. This is basically what these types of devices are designed to do. To continuously monitor the concentration of air concerns, like the temperature, humidity, carbon dioxide, volatile organic compounds. So MarSight has the all-in-one sensor to monitor 7 factors in one time. So we can support you with the indoor air quality monitoring sensor. And this is basically systems are designed to do to continuously monitor for any amount of water and then produce alarm if water is indeed detected. So in a way very similar to the concept of detecting the presence of smoke or presence of heat in a fire detection system. So then when we are detecting water leaks, what are we exactly detect? We are talking about both point detection and linear detection. It can be either point or spot detection, or when using specialized cables, linear detection for large areas. And a door sensor can check if a door is open or closed, or it can check how many times the door has been open or closed, or it can check how long the door has been open or closed. It's in a way very similar to the workflow of security window and door alarm bell. So we can take use of this door and window stator detector, to work as similar as the alarm bell. The bell that most of our Chinese companies, I think you can find here. They were installed already. And the second question I guess you will be having out there is, I know installation, I know installing, and what's the demand? Well, I don't have many rules or real regulations in place regarding the indoor air quality. The guidelines here come from multiple resources, including application feedback and real-life testing. Once you reach caution levels of these pollutants, adverse effects begin to take place. And moreover, 4.3 billion people who lose their lives annually from exposure to the indoor air pollutants. So that's a big loss. The figure on the screen is come from our China insurance sector, a few billion per year in RMB. On water damage related insurance claims per year. Remember, this is just in China. And in terms of structural damage, it's probably more significant than fire and certainly more common. And not every water damage claim would be accepted by the insurance company, to be honest. There are plenty of cases where insurance companies will refuse to insure a commercial property until a suitable leak detection system is in place if there has been history of leak damage. And another aspect to consider is the nature of what an actual water leak, what an actual water leak is. With flooding, for example, is the instantaneous and effects of a flood damage to the building infrastructure, and its contents is pretty obvious from the beginning. But leaks can almost be undetectable, water leaks, particularly if they happen over a long duration until it's too late, and damage is done at that time. And the thing to bear in mind is repairs to damage caused by the sustained water leakage over a long period can be just as expensive as flood damage coming. And water leak detection systems covered here are not designed to keep flood waters at bay. They are designed to give early warning of a leak right at the start and can be interfaced with other systems, like to shut down or shut off water supplies or close off water tank valves as quickly as possible to minimize the damage further. So let's move the focus now to applications. We have identified which we think a key might be of interest to our clients, our customers, and we are kicking off with the first application, which is the office building and school building properties. Think about commercial buildings and education buildings. The air conditioning, the T stations facilities are often provided on every room, every floor of an office block, normally in the same location on each floor. It's often connected to a riser. The same potential risks of every vulnerable office space is being compromised potentially by water leaks. These stations can easily be protected by probes fitted beneath water coolers, beneath the drink machines and sinks, as well as water-sensitive cables beneath the floor, beneath the ceilings. Well, the installer can choose the best method here, which type of device that to use for the water leakage detection. So, in a smart work environment and a smart meeting room, you know exactly how to set up an effective atmosphere without even getting up. So we use this information of the beginning of the working hours and the motion detection readings of the sensor. With those kind of information through the MileSight IoT cloud and the remote IO device, it triggered to turn on the lights automatically when an employee comes into the office. Then according to the temperature, according to the humidity, lightness, and carbon dioxide, TVOC information, we control the fan and the light to provide a comfortable working environment and improve your well-being and productivity. So nobody has to breathe the stale office air. And if you are worried about the water leak caused by the heavy raining weather, or caused by the tear and wear of pipes, or worried about someone break into the building when the occupants are absent, well, here are the water leak detection sensors and magnetic contact switch sensor that you can deploy throughout the sensitive parts of your building while working from home or where you are absent. This IoT solution is based on LoRaWAN standard. It is composed of the ambience monitoring sensor, the door and the window sensor, the water leakage sensor, LoRaWAN gateway, and MileSight IoT cloud on both web and mobile apps. And the sensors and gateways are connecting by LoRaWAN protocol, and the Ethernet cable and Wi-Fi or the 4G cellular wireless networks are also available in our solution. So I think it's an environment where you can work your best. We help you fully focus on your daily routines because everything else is already taken care of. So let's move on to the next application, the data center and the libraries. We have got an environment perfectly suited for the temperature and humidity monitoring, water leak detection, and higher security level for all of the reasons. These places and areas just cannot tolerate any kind of leak because this kind of equipment and paper materials cannot be allowed to overheat or overhumidity. It needs cooling by methods reliant on a water supply. And just on the screen, there are that last bullet, about the gas extinguishing system. If you are involved in supplying the gas extinguishing systems, you are specify and fitting these systems entirely, because the sprinklers cannot be used or water can't be used. So it makes perfect sense to speak to your clients, to speak to your customers on the importance of the environment monitoring, on the importance of temperature, humidity, PIR motion, and water leak detection at the same time. And we have got a diagram here. This is very similar, typical application of ambience and water leak detection. The cables underneath a floor void or above a ceiling or above the ceiling, there is where our water leak emanate from chillers or condensers can go unnoticed for long periods. So we are seeing here how each detection cable is connected. They sit on an adjustable panel loop, much like a fire alarm panel, with alarms being reported at the panel with detailed data, so you can locate water leak quickly and accurately. And the staff need to be alerted as quickly as possible so that items can be rescued or moved before they are damaged. Think about buildings such as the student accommodation blocks or the student apartment, where each room would have at least a bathroom. Picture how many flash and wastewater pipes over there would need to be on each floor. And we should also consider the hotel environment here because uncomfortable ambience and water leaks could cost the building owner thousands of dollars to repair if left unnoticed over a long period, but also the reputation or damage of having to move out gas or close part of the building for repairs. Then there's plenty losses. There's much loss of revenue that would entail, And commercial bathrooms and kitchens could be locked during the off-business hours. We all know how many dangerous tools, how many knives are there in a kitchen. So for the public safety, we can keep an eye on it in case someone went into it legally. And again, as we mentioned earlier, water leak detection comes into two main forms, the point detection and the linear detection. Most systems on the market will offer some kind of flow probe, which gives us the point detection, potential point detection, and detecting water at a single point, as well as linear solution in the form of water-sensitive cables. Mild side could cover around hundreds square meters. The meters on a single loop is unlimited. Technically to say, we can extend the cable through the connectors. And just to illustrate the potential leak risks, when we are talking about multiple story buildings, this simple diagram, but it also shows exactly that with the water riser, the main water supply right here supplying each floor. It also shows the location of the riser pump, usually in the basement. A good water leak detection system should be able to interface with the input-output units to shut down this kind of equipment in emergency. If emergency happens, we need to take reaction quickly. So that's quickly to cover the key technical points of the related products. Well, for the water leak detection, mild site, we can provide you two different types. As I mentioned, the spot leak detection and the linear leak detector. They all support temperature and humidity besides the water leak detection, and also they are battery supported. You can choose either to work in one battery or two batteries to extend battery life to maximum 10 years. And also you can take use of the NFC configuration, the near field communication technology, to finish the configurations settings from your mobile phone or from your mobile device directly. And this is our magnetic contact switch. So here, whenever the state changed, like turn on or turn off, whenever the state changed, you will receive alert. It comes with the same EM300 series, so it also supports maximum two batteries, 10 years working time, and IP67 waterproof level protection. Next is our ambience monitoring sensor, the most popular LoLo-1 sensors from Milesite LoLo-1 product portfolio. Here we have on the left side is the basic 4-in-1 model, and on the right side is the 7-in-1 model, AM107. What's the difference? Only the carbon dioxide, TVOC, and barometric pressure, the three parameters are only supported in the AM107, okay? And you can find it comes with this is the PI motion detector, and this is the light detection sensor, and this is the PI motion detection, okay? And it also comes with the AA batteries, and if you don't want to use the battery anymore, we also supply you a USB cable for power supply. And e-ink screen, the smart screen design is one of our unique selling proposition, because when the device there's no PI motion detection or the personal activity detection in 20 minutes continuously, while the e-ink screen will go to sleep mode to extend the battery life. And there are 6 different options, 6 different ways that you can customize how to display the data, how to display the battery, the date, the time, the basic information like temperature and humidity, TVOC, illumination, those kind of information on the screen. So you can follow up our user manual to find your preferred way. So in summary, we have explained why the indoor air quality detection, why the water leak detection, and the door and the window stator detection are important, and why it should be considered in a number of applications. There are also an insurance consideration which air conditioning installers fire system installers and surveillance system integrators could exploit. Okay, if you want to get more details, welcome to visit our website, milesite-iot.com, for more information. Well, thanks very much for your staying with me until the last minute, and thanks very much for attending this webinar. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.